Good morning. I'm Teneshia Hudspeth, your Harris County Clerk, Teneshia Hudspeth. It is election day. We are finally here. Can you believe it? More than 1.2 million voted early here in Harris County. And as of a little 10 o'clock, well, now we're a little bit after 10 o'clock, more than 85,000 voters have voted here in Harris County today. Our team has been working hard to create a strong election infrastructure to receive voters today, and so far so good, even with inclement weather this morning. So let's not let the rain hold us back from voting in record numbers today, Harris County. As a matter of fact, there are still 700 vote centers available for you to vote today. Anywhere in Harris County, voters should know you can go absolutely anywhere. Much like early voting, you can choose any vote center that's most convenient or closest to you. Polls are open until 7 o'clock p.m. tonight, as long as you are in line by 7 p.m. What does that look like? There's probably a couple of election workers or greeters waiting to see who was that last person in line by 7 o'clock p.m. to allow all voters in the line to be accepted. Here are some tools that you all need to know for Election Day. Make a plan to vote. Know what's closest to you. Look at your sample ballot. View your specific sample ballot. Most voters in Harris County have 50 to 70 different contests to choose from. And make sure that you have one of the acceptable forms of ID. You can go to harrisvotes.com to find all the latest and greatest information about Election Day here in Harris County, as well calling our hotline 713-755-6965. And to the very right of me, maybe left of you, there is a huge call center that are taking calls from our election judges all day, making sure that we're supporting our election workers and accepting calls from our voters to help them find the closest poll, make sure that they have the tools and information they need to cast their ballot. For all those who vote by mail, that have your ballot by mail and have voted it, today only you can take that mail ballot to 1001 Preston downtown. That is the Harris County office, administrative office. Again, that's 1001 Preston. If you have not mailed your ballot because you were afraid we wouldn't receive it today, you can go downtown to 1001 Preston. Now, the voter must go themselves and show proof of ID, their particular ID that they're checking that ballot in. So today, and it won't be hard to see, right off of Preston and San Jacinto between Maine as well, there's a tent that shows that we are there ready to accept your ballot and your credentials. Again, for all voters who have received mail ballots and have not returned those, they can be returned downtown, or you can still go to a vote center, surrender that ballot, and vote a regular ballot. So every vote center has an oversupply of all items today. We make sure that we've over allocated for all supplies and documents for our election workers. There's also extra voting machines and materials in the field. Communication between our office and the election workers have been continuing on throughout the morning. We actually started even earlier, knowing that we had inclement weather happening this morning. So again, all voters should go to harrisvotes.com to get the most important information. In terms of service calls today, we've had about 60% were calls from election judges needing assistance before opening the vote center. So about 60% or so election judges. 40% were calls that were from the voters, right? What information do I need to go before vote? I want to check my voter registration status. You all should know, although we run elections, we don't run voter registration. That is the office of Ann Harris Bennett, the tax assessor collector, but we do work in tandem with each other. Their office is taking calls and has a very large call center today in regards to voter registration, and we are working around the clock to make sure that every voter has the opportunity to do so today. Are there any questions?
Talk about the energy today. Obviously, we have hundreds of paid election workers behind us. Give us people a sense at home what goes on in this building.
Yes, well, we're talking about the energy in here. Let's talk about the energy around this entire county. Here is our elections headquarters. So you have hundreds of individuals here that are servicing the individuals in the field. So from the phone center to our tech lines to our early voting ballot board members that review the mail ballots, and all of our administrative operations are happening here. Also tonight is where we actually tally votes. Some of you will be with us later on this evening. This is where all information in regards to results will come out of. So a good amount of operational systems are happening here. We're supporting everything in the field, and in the field is more than 12,000 election workers. Harris County is the third largest county in the nation and the largest here in the state of Texas. And so today we are supporting those 12,000 plus. Many of our vendors, from our voting system vendors to our tech lines, they're all here supporting us. We're a big operation and we have all hands on deck today.
And you talked about inclement weather. Have you seen any issues with that? I know TSU lost power. There's voting happening there. Talk a little bit about that.
So TSU lost power yesterday.
Yes.
That was yesterday, not today. It was not today. It did not impact the vote center on campus. There were parts of the campus that had outages, but not the vote center. We got on that right away. We spoke with the university and no issues with power today. So I just wanted to clarify that. We had a little bit of some power outages at a couple of vote centers. However, all of our machines are battery backup. No one stopped voting today, and power were up within minutes at all of those vote centers. So no long-term power outages, small increment outages. Again, all of our battery backup systems has made sure that voters kept voting, and within minutes, all of those locations had power backup. So that's to be expected with the weather and wind. We knew to be prepared for that today, but luckily we've not had to go dispatch a generator anywhere. So that's a very good sign.
Outside of the weather-related concerns, have there been any other issues that have been reported at polling locations?
Not major issues. You know, on the first day of Election Day, there's always small things that we have to work through. This is one day amongst less than the 12 days of early voting. So some of these judges are just getting started. There's a little nerves kicking in. They see the lines developing. So these are all just things that, you know, our election workers had to get settled, had to work those things out and get moving. We've done some adjusting of some of our machines and things of that nature. Nothing major, right? This is a typical election day. No major infrastructure issues with our voting today. Yes, ma'am. You're going to have to use your outside voice in here. I have a lot of voices I hear.
How long would it take for, like, let's say, the last polling station that had their last voter to get voting council voting?
Okay, let me clarify. Meaning, if someone's in line by 7 p.m. tonight, how long could it take the last voter to vote? Well, we're going to find out tonight, right? This is Election Day. I can guarantee you that there is going to be plenty of voters in line by 7. We will take as much time at those vote centers as possible to vote all those voters. So buckle up, because it's going to be a long night, right? I'm going to go ahead and say that probably at least 10 or 20 times. We will process those voters. I imagine there's going to be more than a dozen locations that will still be voting voters. Could be 9 o'clock tonight, could be 10 o'clock tonight. We will make sure that we're getting real-time information to know about how many are online, if there's additional support needed, additional workers or anything of that nature to kind of help those lines. But it's hard to say. Those are the things, unfortunately, the county clerk can't predict.
Has the historic early voting turnout in Harris County helped to alleviate lines at polling stations?
Well, you know what? Today, I think what alleviated lines was the rain, right? Again, we have 700 early vote centers. It's kind of hard to have lines on the morning of. Now in the evening, you're going to have some people that's going to rush between 5 and 7, and they're going to go to those very same locations over and over again. So again, early voting, we had high turnout throughout the entire time. And Election Day, always, you just kind of see how it goes on that day. We've not had any lines today, but again, voters can go absolutely anywhere at those 700. If you go to a vote center and there's a line, there is likely one less than a mile or even walking distance away to get to instead of standing in that line. You can also go to Harris Votes and look at the wait times at Harris Votes. By every location, you can see a green, yellow, or red signal. Green means go, yellow means a little bit of traffic, red probably means there's a line there. Thank you.
How can someone check their voter history?
Yes. How can someone check their voter history? So voter history is public information, but if you want to see, hey, I voted early, I want to see if my name is on the list, they can go to harrisvotes.com, election results, and early voting rosters, and they can identify the day that they checked in to vote during early voting.
Did you hear anything about the electoral elementary in Townville having a connectivity?
No, sir, I have not. Not at this very moment. Yeah, I can't.
We heard that there was connectivity issues.
Okay, I've not heard that one. I can't confirm that right now. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that obviously the vote counting will happen here. For mail-in votes, has counting on those started yet, or will those start at a certain time?
So all counting starts at 7 o'clock p.m. tonight. No counting takes place before them by law. So shortly after 7 o'clock p.m. tonight, all early voters in person results will come out, and those that we've received mail ballots for as well. Yes.
Are y'all like kept here just in case there's like obviously a power outage or anything? Just like
Do we have backup for power outage? There are many large generators right outside of this building. So if the power goes out, we have backup. Yes, ma'am.
DOJ wanted to send those poll monitors to polling stations in Harris County and Waller County as well. And in fact, obviously the AG talked about suing the DOJ because of it. It's not happening now. If we just heard an update from the lawsuit, but do you have a reaction to kind of some of that stuff, last minute lawsuit going on overnight?
I do not. My complete focus is on running this election today and making sure that we are supporting the voters and election judges. Those entities will continue to fight it out, and they will focus on the soundbite there, but I am not getting involved in it. I am focusing on the actual operations of the elections. Unless I receive something from the state or any of those entities informing me otherwise, we'll continue to focus on the election. All right, again, just one last reminder, harrisvotes.com for all real-time information in regards to voting. Now we're probably well over 90,000 individuals who voted here in Harris County, 700 locations to vote at. If there's a line, go find the nearest location. You don't have to stay there. You can view your sample ballot. Voters should know there are some do's and don'ts. You can take written materials into the vote center with you. That can be your sample ballot, voter's guide, even push cards from campaigns, as long as it's written materials. You cannot use your cellular device or any cameras or recording devices inside the poll within 100 foot of the poll. If you're really excited and you're wearing a campaign shirt or a ball cap or a button of a different candidate or measure, remember that is not permitted within 100 foot of the poll, and you can either cover it up or change it inside out. Those election workers will remind you of that. So those are some of the don'ts in the polling location. Do's is go get it done, right? Make a plan, know where you're going, get the information from our website, and go cast your ballot. Thank you for your time today.